What's up, everyone? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to talk about some very important levels to watch for what's happening with the news involving the markets. Let me just mention that I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, but the entire community as a whole. Anyways, now let's talk about the markets. So I just want to mention that we have a very, very important range to watch for in the way things are moving. Looking at SPY, there's a bit of an uptrend that's been respected thus far, but the issue is we have a tough resistance. We're basically fighting around this 525 to 526 zone. That's pretty tough. The last time SPY touched this was yesterday during the pre-market. SPY touched this and got a big rejection. So that's where SPY is basically struggling at right now. If we manage to break 525, or at least that resistance zone, we could actually go all the way up to about 527.5. That's where the next tough resistance is going to be. And if that breaks, we're going to easily fill the gap up to about 531. So those are going to be your very, very important levels on SPY. If you want to turn a bit more bearish, what we need to see is we have to see SPY try to lose the support at this 20 EMA. If that fails, then SPY could start dipping back down. One thing worth mentioning is that we had some bill auctions come out. That's why the market's a little bit more volatile, but there's not really a whole lot else coming out in terms of economic data. The economic optimism report was very close to expectations, a little bit below, but not too bad. And then there's also a lot of news going on involving the whole situation in the Middle East. It's very, very serious and very important. So we have to be careful with how things are going on. And if there is some kind of escalation, this could cause a big move in the markets, even possibly a dip. We're not seeing that quite yet, so I'm not really worried about that yet. As of right now, the market is still kind of range bound. The trend on SPY is a little bit more bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows, as you guys can see. But to continue this trend, we have to break resistance, and we're still kind of shuffling, at least at this point. So we'll see how SPY does. I still think that this is favoring upside a little bit more. I want to see if we could try to break past 525 and hold above that, 525.5 around that range. And eventually, we're going to be testing our key 50 EMA. If that breaks, then yes, we're going to continue to see a nice push. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. As long as we don't lose 522, we still favor, the upside a little bit more. Lose 522, and yes, we could start dipping, so we'll have to see. But so far, we're looking pretty good. For ES, we're doing a pretty good job at holding up, but look at this resistance at our 50 EMA, this 5300 area. If we were to break that, then yes, ES could start pushing for, in my opinion, all the way up towards 53.25. If that breaks, we have this gap to fill all the way up to about 57 to 58. So those are going to be your levels on ES. ES also has the 20 EMA support at 52.66. So this is what's been happening for the past hour. We're just range bound. Notice how we're stuck between this green and this yellow line. Those are going to be our key EMAs. We're trading in between them for now, but we got to break through one of them to see what the bigger move is going to be. The chart is technically favoring the upside a little bit more because we had a very, very nice looking bounce since yesterday. So we had this low here, made a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So it's favoring upside a little bit more, but we need to break the yellow line for confirmation, our 50 EMA, just to see this trend continue. Now, SPX is looking a little bit more bullish, and the reason for that is because of this trend shift. So we had this low right here, we went up, we came down, we made a higher high, higher low. We need to break the 20 EMA at 52.86 to continue to push to fill this gap. If we fail to do so, we're going to dip, but it looks a little bit more bullish to me. Now, once again, guys, there's news coming out involving, the situation in the Middle East, so I can't really promise anything. I can't say with 100% certainty the market's going to keep running, but we do favor upside a little bit more in terms of our direction. Also, for Nvidia, we said the same thing. We did push on Nvidia. We're actually up 4%. So yes, we were right yesterday about Nvidia trying to push. To continue this push, you want to break past 106. If that breaks, we're going all the way up towards 108. If we lose support at 104.5, we'll be looking for basically 102.76, and then we will turn back down. With this trend, we're making, we're making a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we could continue to push. But we need to break past 106. So I think Nvidia is looking a little bit more bullish, but that 106 area is very stubborn. So give it some time, and we'll see if we can break that or not. Tesla's a little bit more weak looking because we had some bad news come out involving Chinese vehicles, because of the fact that they have to do another software update, and also because of the fact that in Thailand, they're not really prioritizing building a gigafactory over there now, at least according to reports. They're going to be prioritizing their charging network over there, and they may have to delay the gigafactory. So that's actually a little bit more negative. We have a head and shoulders like structure on Tesla. If we reclaim 202, we could turn back up. But if we fail to do so, there is a risk of us dipping back down to 192 again. It's looking a little bit more in favor of bears, so just be careful with Tesla. My view could change if we break 202, but just be mindful of the fact that Tesla is showing a little bit of weakness right here. Uh, for the QQQ, and by the way, about Tesla, I forgot to mention, if we lose 195, then this could be dipping all the way down towards the 192 area. So just keep that in the back of your guys' minds. And if 192 breaks, we turn really bearish, we're going back down to like 188 or so. So be careful. It's Tesla looking a little bit weak. For the QQQ, we have an uptrend. We had this low all the way down here around this 420 area. Notice how we made a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this is favoring a test of 444 a little bit more if we could manage to hold above 442. So watch 442 as key support. If that holds, 444 is likely coming. If that breaks, we're going all the way up to about 448. If we reject and lose 439, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 437. But this chart is favoring upside, in my personal opinion, a little bit more. For Aapl, we're just completely range bound. Make sure you watch this 202 support followed by resistance at 208 and 210. We're stuck in the middle, but this chart is just shuffling, not really doing a whole lot. Looking at SoFi, we're just stuck in the middle. We did push a little bit towards just under 6.9. Now we're just dipping a little bit. We look a little bit more bearish. I do see this dipping to about 6.4. If we break past 6.5, then we're bullish. If we continue to dip, we'll be looking for 6.4. It favors downside a bit more for 6.4. And if that breaks, we're going down to 6.25. IWM has just continued to shuffle. We have a nice looking uptrend that's trying to be established. If we manage to hold our 20 EMA at this 203 area, this could try to rebound and push for 205. And if that breaks, we're going up to 208. If we lose 204, we're going to be dipping back down towards 202. Overall, the trend is looking a little bit more bullish, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. For Coinbase, we're kind of stuck in the middle. Make sure you look at 192 as resistance and support around 185. We're kind of stuck in the middle, but this favors a little bit of a dip. We got to reclaim 192. If we reclaim 192, we could try to bounce. If we fail to do so, this could dip. We're very, very stuck, kind of like shuffling for now, but there is a little bit of weakness. There's a possible head and shoulders developing on coins, so just be careful. If we lose 185, we turn bearish, so just be careful. That's going to be a very, very key area for us. Amazon's looking a little bit more bullish to me. We got to hold above 162.2. If we hold above that, this will favor a push for 164. If we don't, if we end up losing 162, we're tipping back down towards 160. And if that breaks, 158 is coming. This chart's favoring like it wants to push higher, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. Meta's also trying to push towards that 500 area. That's looking more bullish to me. We'll see if 500 breaks. It's going to be a tough resistance. If that breaks, we're going all the way up towards 508. If not, we'll see if we reject. To turn bearish, you want to lose 480, but this chart's favoring upside. It looks very strong, so it's going to likely continue so long as there's no bad news. Microsoft has 404 as a very, very key level. If we hold above that, we could be pushing for the gap fill for 408. If we don't, we're coming back down to 400, so watch 404. I favor upside as long as we try to hold above that. For Google, in my personal opinion, is looking a little bit more bearish. We're on a bit of a downtrend right over here. We need to break past 162 to turn back up towards 165. And if we end up losing 158, so if we lose 160, look at 158, we turn bearish. We're on a bit of a downtrend on Google. We haven't been able to break past 162. So it looks a little bit more weak compared to the markets, not doing as good of a move in my personal opinion. So that being said, SPY and the QQQ have more strength that are favoring the upside. We have some tough resistance that's approaching, so we'll see if we break that or not. But for now, the charts look a little bit more bullish. For some stocks like Tesla, I'd be a little bit more careful looking at the setups. They're not necessarily like crashing or anything, but I am seeing a little bit of weakness in Tesla, so you want to be careful with the way it's moving. And I say that because the QQQ is up 1.7%, SPY is up 1.5%, but Tesla's only up it's actually down 0.6%. So it's trying to play a game of keep up, but like I said, it's a little bit lackluster. And as long as we hold above 192, we still could hold up. But if we lose that, then yes, we could be dipping. So I'll be watching that 192 area as a key level. And Tesla's still a little bit lackluster. So that's the honest truth because of this bad news that's coming out. So we'll see how things go. We'll see what happens with the Middle East, guys. So I just want to thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thanks for listening and peace out.